Before we get right into the video, I just want to explain this is a raw video, just setting up a live production very quickly. I made this video on the spot, but I want to give you a feel for what it is that we're doing. If anything doesn't make sense, please put the timestamp and your question down below, and we're going to go ahead and respond to it. Make sure that everyone knows how to set up a live production, the right way to do it, the proper way to do it, how to get sound good. Let's get right into the video. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Today, inshallah, we're going to set up a live room for a live performance. There's going to be some tips that you need to know. It's very simple. You're going to see we have two speakers, right? A podium to stand on, and inshallah one microphone. One microphone is going to be a very simple setup, and I'm going to show you the basic principles. What you're going to need, obviously the mic. You want something that is like this, meaning it's not going to pick up the sound from everywhere. It's only going to pick up the sound close. This is what you're going to need, one. Number two, you're going to need a mixer. This is where we're going to plug in that microphone. You can have multiple inputs, but we only have one microphone, which we're going to get into. And the second step is going to be an amplifier. This is to power the speakers. And that's it. That's a very, very simple setup that we're going to do here today. So I'm going to show you guys the mixer now. I'm going to explain to you the basics of the mixer. A mixer may have a lot of buttons, but it's very simple. It's all one channel. So one channel is one input. You plug in your mic, you have some options, and that's duplicated multiple times. All the way up to the master output. So basically what you want to do before you do any live setup is you want everything to be reset. So your gain, you want it to be at unity. Unity means it's not up nor down, which is this is the amount of power going into the microphone. Compression, we'll put that 0. All the EQs, we'll leave them directly at unity. Unity means no addition, no subtraction. See? No addition, no subtraction. And we're going to want that the same for every single channel, just for organization. Actually, to begin, we can have all of our levels to be 0, which is how much volume is going out to the master output. We can have that all be 0 to begin with, just before, so we don't have any issues with the speakers. When you're putting in a mic, you have some options. These are like click-in buttons on this Yamaha mixer. Pad is usually for like instruments because volume comes in very louder, like on like electric guitars, this and that. You can look it up, to be honest, but the pad is not something you're going to use with microphones. HPF is high pass frequency. If you click this in, it'll remove everything below 80 hertz, which is the deep bass, like the rumble, which can cause issues. So if you are using a mic, and I would just recommend leaving this on, see how it sounds, turn it off if you don't hear any issues. But I just always leave it on for most stage performances, basic live audience stuff. So here we have the amplifier. This is going to give power to our speakers. Because our speakers don't have their own power cord, the only inputs the speakers have is literally one cable. So this one cable does the power and the sound. Like it's one cable. But if you had another kind of speaker where it's like powered, you only have to send audio. You don't need an amplifier because the speaker has its own power. I this is the amplifier we have, and I guess it powers 1, 2, 3, 4 channels of speakers. And this one, as you can see here, it has effects. So it has digital delay, it has an EQ, it has effects here. So I have effects on my mixer and I have effects on my amplifier. So this is why I want everything to be default before I begin, because I don't want something happening on my amplifier, like such as bringing the level down, and then on my mixer I'm trying to bring it up. Now I'm like working backward. So we're gonna make sure now I'm just gonna set everything to 0. Everything to 0. Even if I'm not gonna use it, I just want it to be organized, clean, so I know what's being affected. So everything I'm gonna reset it to 0. And then we're going to get into the hookups, how we're going to hook everything up. So out of the amplifier, we're going to use 1/4-inch jacks. These are 1/4-inch jacks right here. You'll find them. You can buy them online, anywhere. Back of our amplifier, we have output. We have 8 ohm output, 8 ohm output. Ohm is the amount of resistance coming out of the speakers. That we need for the speakers. So we're going to check our speakers. Come check here. You can see right here that the impedance is 8 ohms. So it matches, so we're good. You don't want to do 16 ohms and 8 ohms or whatever. Just get speakers that match your amplifier if you have these kind of speakers. These are called passive speakers, okay? This 1/4-inch adapter has 2 coming out of one side and 1 coming out of the other side. We don't need this for this situation, but we'll just put 1 in here, and these are both the same now, either like for left or right, but it doesn't matter. So we're just gonna use 1, and we're gonna put it in the input. That's it, very simple. And then obviously I have 1 more here going to the other speaker. It's already connected, so I'm just gonna plug it in. And like I said, we already reset all of our levels. So everything is default, I have echo off. I was mistaken earlier. These channels where it says mic is if you want to plug a mic directly into your amp, into your speaker. Like this is like an all-in-one setup. If you don't have a mixer, you could just plug your mic in here, send it to the speakers. Over here on the master side is how much level we're getting out
So this in master is all the speakers, right? MP3, I guess this allows you to connect an MP3, or line in is like different options such as like instruments and such. So I just have it all at 5, which is right in the middle. It should be fine because we're going to be adjusting the level from our mixer. I'm going to show you one more thing for the routing. Here we have one cable coming out of the stereo out. We have a left and right. Usually this is for your left and right speakers. We only have one coming out. So this basically comes all the way down into our amplifier right here. This is our amplifier. It's going into channel 1. And you can see I have nothing adjusted. The bass, the treble, the level, everything is default, right? What I could do is have my left speaker go into channel 1 and my right speaker go into channel 2. So on this amplifier, we have different channels for microphones, and that's what we're just unfortunately using for this one. It's just an XLR cable going into the mic, and we're using that as an output. So it's going to be mono. But it looks like they have line in and line out, as well as line in left and right. So I guess if we were using the left and right channels coming out of the mixer, we can put them into here for the left and right. I'm not entirely sure about this amplifier, to be honest, because it only has one sections of outputs. So I'm not sure how it does the left and the right stereo. But anyway, that does seem to be working for what we got. One of the things is very important to know is if you have the microphone, you do not want to be in front of your speakers with your microphone, because the sound is going to start to feed back. It's more likely that way. So you can tell that we're going to be standing here. You always want your speakers in front of the performer, wherever it is, either on a stage, behind a podium, wherever. These usually come with like tripods. Normally you'll find like these speakers like up on a tripod like this. You could put them out on the side, put them wherever. Just make sure they're facing toward the audience and not facing toward the mic, nor behind the mic. This is very important. On this Yamaha mixer, we do have effects. So for example, these white buttons here are called FX, and these determine how much effect for this channel or this channel or this channel or this channel, basically per channel. So you can see I have a little bit of FX here, and I'm going to go ahead and turn on the mic. Test, test. And we have the FX here on, and this is the master level. So this is for all the effects. This adjusts the effect for one channel or two channels or three channels, like how high or low each channel is. And this is the master, meaning everything all at once. Same with this one for the master volume. If I turn up the effects some more here, you're going to hear a lot of reverb. You hear that? A lot of reverb. And let's turn it up some more. Now we have a lot more reverb. This is too much. It's going to get cloudy. It's going to get like muddy. You're not going to be able to hear clearly whatever it is that they're reciting or singing or whatever. So you just want a good amount. The second thing that's important is, well, how do I know what effect I'm getting? Here on this Yamaha mixer, we have different effects here, either reverb hall or 2, reverb hall 1 or 2, room or stage or reverb plate, different types of reverb, and then other effects such as a single delay, a delay, an echo, karaoke. Like these are all effects you can try. You click this in and you choose the effect that you want, and then this parameter affects that effect. Meaning, for the reverb, do I want it short or do I want it long? So this would be the min or the max. So is it a short reverb or a long reverb? So that's what this does. It affects this one. The balance is everything between like sending the audio either left or to the right. And that's it. Very simple. And once you learn how to use it, you'll be able to use every single mixer because it all has the same process approximately, just with additional or less features. So when you're setting the levels of the microphone, you want to make sure the level is all the way down first. The first thing you want to do is adjust the gain. So how are we going to adjust the gain and make sure it's right? We're going to speak in the microphone, right, at the level that we're speaking, and then we're going to continuously adjust the gain, here until we see peaking. You see what, bring the camera here. You see where it says peaking? So now if I'm speaking and it says peaking, I know my gain is too high. So I'm going to reduce my gain until I'm no longer peaking. So now I know that this is not clipping the audio. Now I can go ahead and turn up the level, and I know that the audio is going to be at the right power from the gain. As you can see here, I've already done some basic EQ. I've increased the high, increased the mid a little bit, and decreased the low. The reason for that is because on my voice, you can hear, it sounds pretty clear here, it sounds good. But I'm going to set everything back to the default, and you're going to hear it's going to become very bassy. Now when I speak, it sounds like kind of muffled. It sounds kind of muffled, so it doesn't really work that well, to be honest. So we're going to put this back to how I had it, reduce the low, increase this, increase the high. This is EQ. As you get better with EQ, you're going to learn how to hear what sounds better. The high is like the sparkly sound. The low is the deep rumble, and that usually going to make it sound not so good. Another setting here I want to show you guys is the compression. Compression gives you basically the range of volume that's going to come out of the speakers. That's like the simplest way I can explain that. If I turn up the compression, now if I whisper or I speak very loudly, the volume coming out of the speakers is going to be the same. But if I keep the compression on 0, if I whisper, it's going to be quiet. If I yell, it's going to be loud. I'm going to show you here. I'm going to turn up the compression all the way. I'm going to turn on the microphone, and you can see that I'm whispering, but the volume, you can still hear it coming out of the speakers at a good volume. And now I put the compression to 0, and now if I whisper, you can hear that it's not that loud. But if I get very loud, you can hear that it gets very loud. And then if I turn the compressor on all the way, if I whisper, it's still the same volume. And if I get very, very, very loud, it's still the same volume coming out of the speaker. So it limits the range of volume coming out of the speaker for that particular microphone.
So thank you for watching, and if you had any questions or anything confused you whatsoever, please leave it in the comments below. We're all going to learn from each other. I'll respond to the answers, and I'll even give you some resources as well so we can expand and grow together as a community. If you are in Tampa or have any AV production needs, please contact me. My website is in the description below. It's also in my channel profile. It's alphabravomedia.co, and I'm more than willing to help you consult or even help you set up a live audio setup or come do it for you. If anything here didn't make sense to you, like the terminologies, I have a video that talks about an overview of all the vocabulary and main like audio routing principles. It's only like a few minute video. You can go ahead and watch that one as well.